Hello, how are you? Today I prepared some tips for those of you who have a big belly, a more prominent belly, but are not overweight. Some people have a distended belly, really large, and people even say it looks like a pregnant belly because when you touch it, it's hard. It's not the kind of belly where you squeeze and feel a fold of fat, it's truly a distended belly. So I'm going to explain to you why this happens in most cases and what you can do with your diet to reverse it. Stay with me until the end because you won't want to miss this. First of all, if you're new here, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I post new videos every day and you won't want to miss them. If you know someone who has this kind of belly and you're concerned about their health, share this video. Let's work together, you and I, to spread this positive movement because that's truly what I want to achieve here with the channel. A lot of people ask me in the comments to talk more about this type of belly. These are people who aren't overweight. They have thin arms and legs. Their weight isn't that high, but their waist circumference is disproportionate. Their belly is really large, very bloated, and often the abdomen feels hard. What could this be? Let's talk more about it now. When we analyze these cases, most of the time it has to do with some kind of liver dysfunction. Of course, I'm speaking in general terms here. It's possible that in your case, this isn't what's happening. To know for sure, you need to consult your doctor to diagnose any issues and follow up with your nutritionist. But in some cases, liver dysfunction, such as an enlarged liver, fatty liver, inflamed liver, or hepatic steatosis, causes the liver to work improperly, with some liver cells being replaced by scar tissue cells that cannot perform the liver's functions. As a result, some fluids end up leaking into the abdominal cavity, which really causes it to become distended. That's why the belly is hard, because it's not necessarily fat that's accumulated there. Instead, there's a certain leakage of fluids from our body into the peritoneum, into the abdominal cavity. So, what can we do to try to improve liver health and avoid reaching this point? Tip number 1, do not consume alcoholic beverages. Alcohol and the liver, as you already know, do not go well together. Alcohol in general. Many people think that beer is milder, lighter, doesn't make you gain weight, and doesn't have that much alcohol, but beer does, in fact, significantly harm liver function. Wine as well. Many people think that wine is more natural, that they can have a glass of wine a day. If you already have any suspicion or any health issue related to your liver, you need to completely abstain from alcohol. Ideally, you should try to reduce the amount of refined carbohydrates you consume. That is, sugar, white bread, white pasta, regular potatoes, such as, for example, foods like these, and also sweets, pudding, desserts, those things you find at the bakery. Because they are closely linked to a large production of insulin, which will cause you to develop peripheral resistance to this insulin, metabolic syndrome, which can lead to fat accumulation in the liver, and that will cause all these problems. In fact, this problem is kind of both the cause and the effect of itself. So, in order for us to try to break this cycle, making some dietary changes, specifically regarding carbohydrates, is very important for us to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go on a low-carb diet. If you don't know what a low-carb diet is, it's a diet with reduced carbohydrates. I even talk more about it in other videos here, but I'm not saying that you have to follow a low-carb diet. What you should do is consume healthier carbohydrates, like those from low glycemic index fruits, vegetables, greens, chickpeas, beans in general, peas, lentils. These carbohydrates are absorbed more slowly and are healthy for you to eat. It's also quite important for a person to consume a moderate amount of protein because when we talk about reducing the amount of carbohydrates, people naturally think about increasing protein. There's still that old idea of a diet that's low carb but high in protein, the so-called protein diet. And excess protein also needs to be metabolized by your liver, which ends up overloading it. So, it's not that you should follow a diet low in protein unless you have some specific contraindication, but rather that you should consume just what is necessary. Many people focus on protein, but ideally, for those who have any kind of liver-related issue, the focus should be on good fruits. I'll leave a link below to some interesting fruits for you with a lower glycemic index, vegetables, leafy greens, the legumes I just mentioned, and healthy fats. I even have several recipes here on the channel to replace bread, so you can use these as alternatives to industrialized breads. I'll also leave the link down below in the description to help you out. But getting back to it, what are healthy fats then? Many people think that because they have fatty liver or problems with excess fat in the liver, they can't consume fat. Actually, the main thing you need to avoid to control this is high glycemic index carbohydrates. Healthy fats are not a problem as long as they are within your daily needs. So, monounsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, omega-3s, Avocado, flaxseed, chia seeds, walnuts, and fatty deep sea fish are good sources of fat for you to include in your daily routine. It's also very important that you maintain consistency. In other words, that you stay motivated to stick to this diet. It's a diet that many people often think will bring results in just a few days or weeks, but you must have realized that you didn't get this belly in just 4 weeks. It took time to accumulate, so to restore your liver, it will also take some time. The amount of time will vary from person to person, but it's very important that you try not to give in too much to everyday temptations. So for that, it's really helpful if you can make some healthy substitutions, eating healthy foods that still resemble the foods you're used to consuming. For example, I have a recipe here on the channel for homemade mortadella, which is a healthy mortadella made with chicken. It's a substitute for the mortadella you're used to eating. As for sweets, there are also some recipes that may or may not be suitable for your particular case. So I'll leave some lists of videos down here for you to check out some recipes I have, which are healthy and interesting. And I also want to remind you that there may be different paths for you. It might be that, for one person, it's easier to do this by following intermittent fasting, especially since fasting can have this interesting anti-inflammatory effect. It might be that for other people, fasting doesn't work because the person feels very anxious and can't go so long without eating. Always remember that this is an informational video. The most important thing, if you have any health issues, is to always consult your doctor and your nutritionist so they can provide you with individual care. Once again, just a reminder that I'll leave some links below to videos I've already recorded talking more about the liver, symptoms of liver problems, great lists of good foods, fasting, several things that I think you'll enjoy learning more about. And what about you? Do you have any liver problems? Do you have a more distended belly but you're not overweight? Have you managed to make any changes to your diet and noticed your belly getting smaller? How did that work for you? Leave it for me down below because I would love to read your comment. And also, if you know someone who could benefit, share this video. Let's work together, you and I, to expand this chain of good because that's what I want most for this channel. Like the video because that really helps me out. And if you're new here, take this opportunity to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. I have new videos every day about fitness, health, nutrition, and lots of wonderful, healthy, affordable recipes. You won't want to miss them. See you next time. Bye.